What's up, fight fans? I'm back with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I'm always your host, Edwin. Where the war fights start, round one. Well, I got a couple texts on this situation with Ness over here on the Boxing Voice, and I just wanted to address a couple of things real quick, right, on the matter, right? First of all, I've been in arguments before. I've been thrown off platforms. Uh, that's nothing. You know what I mean? Just, it is what it is, right? But that's not what is, I feel, that is taking place here. See, Ness has a big platform, and he allows us to come on the platform, in which I'm thankful for going on the platform, and every day talking about a sport I really love. Now, I'm not as fluent in the sport as Ness or as a lot of people, but although I go on a show called The Boxing Voice, and opinions are like assholes, everybody has an opinion. But at a certain point, you have to notice that you are no longer being talked to. You are no longer on a show or an educated boxing show where that you go to get boxing information or insight. And even at times when you can be wrong, you can be set straight, right? Okay. So when you're discussing these matters, and that's exactly what you're doing, you're talking them. When the person that has you coming on the show all of a sudden becomes real belligerent, right? And they start calling you stupid, and they start cursing at you. They start flaring their arms and puffing their chest out and all these things. Now it's no longer being talked to. You're no longer being educated. You're being talked down to. And ever in life, if you're in a situation where you find yourself in that, just take yourself out of it. You don't need to put yourself through these kinds of things, for their entertainment. In fact, all I've ever felt I've done is come on and try to give a different side of opinion on the show. Right, wrong, or indifferent. It's just everyone giving their views, right? And as far as, going a step further for him, I've put money in his pocket. I've showed up to his events. All the money that he made off of us, it went into his pocket, right? And I'm okay with that. I was okay for the opportunity. But do I continue to be disrespected like this? And then what a person like this will do in a situation like this, what they'll do is they'll say, oh, now you being a softy, you can't take words or something, to try to justify their bullyish nature. They can no longer educate. So if you're not informed or know something, then why do you go to these shows? Why do you participate in these things? To get better at your craft. But when that is not what's, happening anymore, and you're no longer talking, you're disrespecting just to get your point across. And then the way he tries to dress it up is, oh, you're doing this because Subriel is Puerto Rican. And then in his mind, he says, you always do this for Puerto Rican fighters. But I've only argued with you about one Puerto Rican fighter in my entire time. It's Subriel. So how do I do it for all of them? Then I argue about a Japanese fighter. But now it's because it's Naoya Inoue. It's always something with him. Whenever he has a hair across his ass and he feels like talking to you like this, but it seems to be like, when I look back, a pattern. He kind of does this to a lot of his guests and a rotation of guests. Because at some point, he turns on you. He can no longer teach you, educate you. Now he has to start disrespecting you. And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Because I like the dude. I like the dude. I like the show. I like the people. I like the criticism. I like everything. But, I didn't like that. I ain't like that. I'm not going to be the butt end of your jokes or your disrespect because it's your platform. You could have still got your point across and put me in my place in a calm manner and just explained it. That's it. That's all you could have did. There, at no point in the show did you ever talk regular. Whenever the topic came up, you went from 0 to 100 every time. There was no educational process. Like, I already told you this or I already did this. No, that we didn't do any of that. We discussed things, our different points of views on the same matter. And he snapped. But that's okay. I don't care. I've been in an argument before. I've been chewed out before. I don't hold it personal. I don't hold it personal. But, you know, it is what it is. And then dudes show their true colors. You seen Claymore up there? Straight brown nosing. Yo, my man doubled down on it and was like, yo, Edwin got up there and said some shit about a fighter, and most of the people in the panel didn't. Well, he was talking about David the Monster Benavidez and the situation that I talked about on his show about my concern with him testing positive for cocaine. He didn't taste once, multiple times. So I don't have the right as a person look from the outside looking in, showing my concern on his character, his physical character, and wondering and saying, I'm a little concerned for him. Does he have a situation with this? Because he multiple times. But I would be talking shit because the fighter tested positive. What? But he wants to double down on it like he ain't had nothing to say, like just to be on the panel. Straight. Yo, man. Yo, it was ridiculous. I was like, God damn. Yo. But hey, it's a dirty game, I guess, right? And that's the same dude that bit my whole style, my whole setup. Came on my show. I gave him the recipe for the setup. He want, man, listen. They want to be like you, man, I tell you. But if you speak your truth, you're wrong. You're wrong.